It would seem that more and more countries are now opposing the United States over their active allowance of the ethnic cleansing of Palestinian people by Israel. Luckily, we are living in an information era. We don't just have to rely on politicians and the media to tell us what's going on in the world like we used to. We now have an opportunity to do our research and form our conclusions about the world around us. That said, Australia and Belgium were among many countries by this time that firmly oppose US behavior in the Middle East. Do these actions by other governments raise even more tension in the already stressful situation? Next Generation Economics brings you the latest economic, financial, and global news from different parts of the world. If you're new to our channel and enjoy learning about different topics on a global level, you'll find our videos intriguing. In this video, we're going to be discussing how diplomatic tensions rise. Watch this video until the end and find out how Australia and Belgium are strongly opposing US actions in Gaza. In the realm of global diplomacy, tensions elevated as Australia and Belgium jointly condemn US actions in Gaza. This move echoed through international relations, adding an important chapter to the narrative's opening. As the narrative progresses, curiosity arises about the motivation between this collective stance and potential impact on the geopolitical deadline. The story gives rise to a deeper examination of the forces forming the global stage. Amidst the struggle for a collective voice in condemning war crimes, Belgium came as an unexpected protagonist, boldly defying the prevailing lack of consensus within the EU. Claudio Francavilla, the Human Rights Watch expert, heralded Belgium's stance as a headlight of principle in a diplomatic space full of complexity. Belgium's courage shone brightly as it took a stand against the actions in the Gaza Strip. The Belgian government condemned Palestinian armed group killings and questioned the legality of Israeli airstrikes. Going beyond mere words, Belgium expressed deep concerns about the collective punishment imposed on the Palestinian population. Not stopping there, the country also called for targeted sanctions and accountability for those who are responsible. As this conflict rages on, with statistics making a harrowing picture of the loss of human lives and infrastructure, Belgium stood as a testament to the possibility of individual nations upholding principles in the absence of a unified EU position. The narrative conveyed Francavilla's call for fellow EU member states to follow Belgium, encouraging them to vocalize support for international law, safeguard human rights, and promote accountability amidst changes. Australia, via its Foreign Minister Penny Wong, has called on Israel to halt the killing of civilians in Gaza, emphasizing the urgency on delivering humanitarian aid, including food, water, medicine, and fuel. Wong highlighted the arrival of 20 Australian citizens from Gaza and Egypt, and expressed concern over the current situation, highlighting that even in war there are rules against ongoing civilian deaths. She underlines the importance of Israel's friends urging restraint, linking it to Israel's security and warning of grave risk if the conflict spreads. Wong also condemned reports of Palestinians being forced out of West Bank villages by Israel, urging the Israeli government to cease such actions. The Gaza Strip has faced escalated air and ground attacks from the Israeli army since a cross-border attack by Hamas on October 7th. The conflict has resulted in over 10,300 casualties, including 8,796 Palestinians and more than 1,538 Israelis. In the context of the Israeli army's intensified attacks on Gaza, significant casualties and displacement were caused. Wong emphasized the detrimental impact on the 2.3 million residents due to a shortage of basic supplies resulting from the Israeli siege. Unlock exciting geopolitics content. If you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest insights, you'll be the first to know. Join us now. Before the Australian Labor Party National Conference from August 17th to 19th, efforts were made within party leadership to avoid passing motion on sensitive issues. This included Israel-Palestine relations and AUKUS, Australia, United Kingdom, United States, that could embarrass Anthony Albanese's government. Speculation arose about the left-leaning faction's potential demand for a resolution on Palestinian statehood at the conference, possibly linked to an AUKUS security deal. However, Foreign Minister Penny Wong and Prime Minister Albanese conveyed opposition to the conference dictating foreign policy, signaling hesitation for prescriptive resolutions on both AUKUS and Palestinian statehood. While the Labour Party ultimately avoided a contentious debate on Israel and Palestine at the conference, the preceding tension highlighted a deepening division in Australia over a once bipartisan issue. The historical non-sensitivity of the Israel-Palestine conflict in Australian politics has evolved, with a long-standing friendship with Israel facing internal challenges. Australia's support for Israel dates back to the 1947 UN partition plan, emphasizing shifting dynamics in the diplomatic realm. In contrast to Australia's robust economic, defense, and people-to-people connections with Israel, the relationship with Palestinian leaders is less substantial. Australia is committed to a two-state solution and currently does not recognize Palestine as a state, but does provide aid to the Palestinian territory. Recent government actions, including reversing the recognition of West Jerusalem as Israel's capital and supporting a UN resolution criticizing Israeli settlement policy, signify a shift in support towards Palestinian statehood. Regardless of changes, Australia remains a great friend of Israel, according to Foreign Minister Wong and Prime Minister Albanese. However, this balancing act has sparked criticism from Australian Jewish groups, while smaller groups welcome a more balanced approach. Palestinians in Australia largely support the Albanese government's new policies. The Labour Party's evolving stance on Israel-Palestine, more sympathetic to Palestine, contrasts with the Liberal Party's position, which does not mention Palestinian statehood. The 2023 Labour Conference saw no resolution on Israel and Palestine, indicating a divergence in Australia's policy from some Western allies, but maintaining alignment with others. While Australia's policy on Israel and Palestine becomes increasingly divisive, it remains in line with many Western allies. And the 2023 Labour Conference avoided resolution on the issue, showing the complexity of Australia's diplomatic position. Belgium traditionally supports a two-state solution for the Israel-Palestine conflict, aiming for the establishment of an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel. The country encourages dialogue, adherence to international law, and human rights promotion in the region. Like other European Union member states, Belgium calls for peaceful negotiations between both parties to address outstanding issues. For the latest and most accurate information on Belgium's diplomatic view of Palestine, it's advisable to refer to recent diplomatic statements or official government sources. Belgium's central role in dealing with the European Union positions it as a key player when dealing with international concerns, including the Israel-Hamas conflict. The country's participation in EU discussions and decision-making processes enable it to contribute to the formulation of a collective EU stance on the matter. Belgium, along with other EU member states, works towards promoting diplomatic solutions, adhering to international law, and addressing humanitarian concerns in conflict zones. As a hub for EU institutions, Belgium's diplomats are actively involved in creating the EU response to crisis, including advocating for peace, dialogue, and respect for human rights. With each collective EU member state, including Belgium, having its own nuanced perspective, the collaborative efforts within the EU framework still underscore Belgium's role in contributing to a unified approach to international challenges, such as the Israel-Hamas conflict. Australia and Belgium jointly oppose U.S. actions in Gaza, making a significant development in international relations. This shared stance highlights the complicated dynamics and signals the divergence of perspectives amongst allies. As diplomatic tensions escalate, the evolving narrative prompts a keen observation of potential implication for broader geopolitical alliances and future diplomatic interactions. If today's topic resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. We value your feedback and appreciate you joining in on the conversation.